Good evening, everyone. I will call this meeting to order on Monday, June 12th, 2023. And I will begin by reading the public charge. The Board of Commissioners asks its members and citizens to conduct themselves in a respectful, courteous manner, both with the board and fellow citizens. At any time, should any member of the board or any citizen fail to observe the public charge, the chair will ask the offending person to leave the meeting until that individual regains personal control. Should decorum fail to be restored, the chair will recess the meeting until such time that a genuine commitment to the public charge is observed. If you will, let's go to this side this time. Commissioner Alum, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, if you will stand with us?
The United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay. I'd like to first acknowledge some of our visitors this evening. We have some young people that will want to say welcome and thank them for being here. We have interns and fellows. If you will stand and let people see who you are, would be great. Yeah. You know, it's always great to have our young people with us, and they are all in college and will be working. Some of them will be working for the next several years with us, and some of them will be for part-time. So we welcome you, and we look forward to seeing you around. Commissioners, are there any agenda adjustments? Hearing none, I will move on to announcements, and our clerk will read our announcement.
Good evening, everyone. I will read the announcements published in our agenda this evening. The first, advertisements of tax liens. North Carolina law requires the tax collector to annually publish current year unpaid real estate taxes. Durham County property taxes not paid by May 31st at 5 p.m. will be advertised in the local newspaper on June 21st. For additional information, you can contact 919-560-0300, or you can visit dconc.gov/tax. Public hearing for Durham Comprehensive Plan. The regular June 13th Planning Commission meeting begins at 5:30 p.m. The first agenda item will be the comprehensive plan. This will be the final public hearing before the Planning Commission on this project. Once a vote on the comprehensive plan is issued, the Planning Commission will move on to its regular meeting. Meetings are held virtually and inside City Hall at 101 City Hall Plaza. You can view the agenda as well as the virtual meeting on their website. Double bucks on food spending. Do you receive SNAP, WIC, or live in Section 8 housing? The Durham County Cooperative Extension wants you to know that you can get double the food for your money with Double Bucks Shop at Durham Farmers Market on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Wednesdays from 3 till 6 p.m. South Durham Farmers Market on Saturdays from 8 to 12 p.m. and the Black Farmers Market on the first and third Sundays from 1 to 4 p.m. Juneteenth holiday closure. Most Durham County government offices will be closed in recognition of the Juneteenth holiday on Monday, June 19th, 2023. Our offices will reopen with the normal hours of operation on Tuesday, June 20th. To read more about impacts to certain services, you can visit the Durham County website. There is one additional announcement that did not make your agenda packet. It is the Bulls Biowork Academy is accepting applications. The Building Up Local Life Sciences Industry Initiative, BioWork Academy is now accepting applicants for its fall 2023 cohort. They're offering full scholarships to young adults from Durham County, ages 18 to 25, who are interested in pursuing a career in Durham's growing life sciences industry. There will be 2 information sessions held virtually on Tuesday, June 13th at 12 noon and Tuesday, July 11th at 4 p.m. For additional information and how to apply, you can visit madeindurham.org/Bulls Initiative, and the deadline to apply is July 21st. That concludes the announcements.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace. Any other announcements? Commissioner Lum?
Thank you, Chair Howerton. I just wanted to share an announcement that Duke University's Nicholas Institute for Energy, Environment, and Sustainability is having their grand opening celebration event for the Heat Policy Innovation Hub. Dr. Ashley Ward is hosting this event with Duke experts around climate change and the environment. Will be there. It's going to be Wednesday, June 21st from 3 to 5 p.m. And I will forward the information to Monica so she can publish it. It'll be at Gross Hall on the front porch.
Thank you. I just want to share something that we were all given at the joint city-county meeting last Wednesday. It's a little flag. It says, "Do your duty, pick up the duty," and hashtag Durham Duty Pledge. This is an effort from the Public Works, but because we just passed a new ordinance that requires developments to have dog waste stations. But I just wanted to read why this is important. The longer it sits, the grosser it gets. Parasite eggs in decaying dog waste can infect people and pets. Bacteria and nutrients in dog waste become water pollution when rain washes poop through storm drains and into creeks. And there's also a video that you can link to, and it's just a whole campaign basically to encourage people to do your duty and post your pictures as you are doing your duty. And there's also little bags that are available for people to put on their dog collar or their backpack or whatever. So just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Burns.
Mine are relatively quick. The first one I actually don't have in front of me. Last week, we were all able to participate in the Juneteenth flag raising. And while we were there, they announced like 5 events, and I did not have a tape recorder nor ink pen. But if we could get those, yes, our office is closed, so it's not a day off, it's a day on. It would be really great if, we could take the time as a community to go out and support some of these. I said 5, but they really like 10 or 12, just to learn more about this holiday and how it came about. I also wanted to throw out there, I'm happy that the clerk did mention the Bulls Initiative. So I do apologize if you did say this, but one of the information sessions is tomorrow. And that information session, you can actually log on. There's a link. A lot of people are really struggling with it because on the website, it's just a poster, and then you have to go down and it says click QR code, but you don't actually click the QR code. It's the picture beside it. I always try to go through these steps because if we send it to y'all and y'all can't do it, that's a problem. So that's not on the county. That's actually on their website, but I did want that direction out there. The information session is tomorrow, so you can learn more about the Bulls Initiative. And so you do have to go down and click on the link. And then last but not least, one of the things that, and I'm sure that our clerk will be able to share it on our social media, Momentum Financial Academy. I'm so super duper excited that we have a manager who sees that a lot of our small businesses here actually fail because they don't have good financial practices. So she, along with staff, are starting another a kind of mini MBA program. But along with that one, the city is doing a program and the applications close, the information session is June 20th, but the application closes June 26th. So this is a 4-week class that the city, along with the library, is doing for micro enterprises just around financial management. So you might have a really great idea. You might be a beautician. You might sell a widget, but you don't even know how to open up QuickBooks. I get it. So this is a free class that the city has that focuses just on getting finances straight for your business, and then you can come on over and do our 39-week class that our manager was so gracious enough to purchase. So we just want you to be sturdy. So again, Financial Momentum Academy.
Anything else? Okay, so moving on, next, commissioners, is our minutes. We have May 1st, 2023, our work session minutes, and May 8th, 2023, our regular session minutes. Are there any edits or any additions? Hearing none, I can get a motion and a second from the commissioners.
Madam Chair, I move that our May 1st work session and our May 8th regular session 2023 minutes be approved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. Next, commissioners, we have a ceremonial item 230415. It's a resolution honoring our beloved, the life of Conan Deville Morgan. The board is requested to approve a resolution honoring the life and legacy of Mr. Morgan, who made his transition on May 28th, 2023. Mr. Morgan was highly regarded as a brilliant political strategist and a trusted political advisor who worked with many successful candidates across the state and nation. He was a friend to many and always showed a unique measure of professionalism, warmth, and respect for everyone he met. Well, I suggest the board to join in reading the resolution to honor in his honor. And we have decided that the three of us will read the resolution, and we're going to start with, I think, Commissioner Burns, will you read the first three whereases, please?
Durham Board of County Commissioners Resolution, Conan Trevelle Morgan. Whereas Conan Trevelle Morgan, a native of Garner, North Carolina, attended North Carolina State University, where he obtained his undergraduate degree in computer science as a Caldwell Fellow, and was also a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And whereas Morgan's love of serving others began at an early age, elected student body president of Garner High School, where he used his platform to speak up for students and educators by addressing the Wake County School Board in 1999 in support of a school bond. And whereas his passion for politics was often unmatched by his love of science, dedicating much of his free time to volunteer in NC for the North Carolina Science Olympiad in homage to his time as a competitor while in high school. And his service to the Olympiad was honored in 2016 when he received the Dr. James L. Painter Distinguished Service Award. And
whereas Morgan founded and served as managing partner of Longleaf Agency, using his skill sets and talents to progress positive change across North Carolina through the support of candidates and advocacy organizations, and to champion a platform of equity and justice at every level of his work and government. And whereas he unselfishly shared his talents with others, leading as a visionary and mentor for many young and old across the state and country. And while serving as president of the Young Democrats of North Carolina, Morgan made it his mission to pass on the torch and lift up young leaders, especially young leaders of color, to advocate for equity across our state. And whereas his service to Durham came full circle from his high school days when he served as the primary consultant on the 2022 Durham bond referendum, championing one of his earliest passions, supporting public education, and where his integral contributions assisted the Blue Ribbon Committee to raise awareness and pass the bonds overwhelmingly with over 80% of support from residents. And
Whereas Conan Travell Morgan leaves behind his lovely wife, Raina Walters Morgan, his parents, Pamela and Timothy, his sister, Jaleesa Morgan, family members, friends, and colleagues. And whereas Conan was simply an amazing life force who shared his grace, kindness, and respect with everyone he came in contact with. This gifted, passionate leader and philanthropist will long be remembered as a role model, mentor, and dynamic visionary to all who were blessed to know him. The legacy of his work will continue on through those he loved and inspired. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the Durham County Board of Commissioners, do hereby honor the memory of Conan Travell Morgan. We urge all Durham County residents to reflect on his extraordinary legacy of public advocacy, his kind demeanor, his genuine love, and his extraordinary contributions to our state. This, the 5th day of June 2023.
thank you all for reading that. I don't think, was anybody on Zoom? No? He was a very special person to so many of us. So if the emotion in the voice that you may hear is that he was very dear to so many people in North Carolina and okay, I will move on. So our next item is a proclamation on Pride Month, 230422. The board is requested to approve a proclamation designating June as Pride Month in Durham County. And before we read that resolution, I just want to mention a few facts here that Biden-Harris administration announced action to protect LGBTQI plus communities. And as I was reading through this, it said, this was printed on June 8th, today, in celebration of Pride Month, the Biden-Harris administration is announcing new actions to protect LGBTQI plus communities from attacks on their rights and safety. Over a dozen states have enacted anti-laws that violate our most basic values and freedoms as Americans and are cruel and callous to our kids, our neighbors, and those in our community. So there were several bullets: protect LGBTQI plus communities, support kids, and you can find this on the website. I just found it very interesting that they support our communities, and just wanted to mention that. So the proclamation, I will ask, starting with each one of the commissioners who will read a part of this, and then I will ask Natalie Watson, Interim Executive Director, of the LGBTQ Center in Durham to come forward and accept the proclamation, and if she'd like to say a few words. So I think, Wendy, are you starting with, if you will start with the reading of this, please.
Durham Board of County Commissioners Proclamation, Pride Month 2023. Whereas the Stonewall riots, a period of protest, I might keep going in and out, violent clashes with law enforcement in June 1969 is commonly viewed as the origin of the modern gay rights movement in this country. And whereas the LGBTQIA plus movement in Durham is rooted in an April 17th, 1981 protest in response to the hate-motivated assault of 4 men at the Little River on April 12, 1981, and resulting death of Ronald Sonny Antonovich, Durham's first NC Pride March in 1986 was organized by the Triangle Lesbian and Gay Alliance, TLGA, and Mayor Wib Gully's proclamation of Durham's first Anti-Discrimination Week in 1986 resulted in him being challenged by an unsuccessful recall campaign, and
Whereas celebrating Pride Month raises awareness and provides support and advocacy for the LGBTQIA+ community, and is an opportunity to become educated, engage in dialogue, strengthen alliances, and build understanding. And whereas LGBTQIA+ Americans continue to face discrimination simply for being who they are, and the County of Durham stands with this community in the struggle to ensure equal treatment for all. And
whereas, while much progress has been advanced, we know that there is still work to be done to ensure that everyone enjoys the full promise of dignity, protection, equity, and freedom. And whereas more than 400 anti-LGBTQIA+ bills have been introduced in the state legislatures all across the United States since the start of the year, and progressive officials and citizens must speak up to protect LGBTQIA+ rights. And
whereas Durham County government continuously advocates for protections for all LGBTQIA plus individuals in order to make it clear that there is no place in this progressive community, state, or nation for denial of human rights, regardless of anyone's sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. And whereas Durham County's non-discrimination ordinance approved in 2022 by the Board of County Commissioners, that's this board, provides freedom from discrimination on the basis of race, ethnicity, creed, color, sex, pregnancy, marital or familial status, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, national origin or ancestry, marital or familial status, pregnancy, military, it's in there twice, religious belief or non-belief, we meant it, age or disability in employment, and access to all places of public accommodation.
Now, therefore, I, Brenda A. Howerton, Chair, and on behalf of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim June 2023 as Pride Month. In Durham County, we call upon Durham County residents to recognize the achievements of the members of the LGBTQIA+ community, and to celebrate and support a culture of inclusiveness and acceptance during this month and every month. This is the 12th day of June 2023. There you are, Natalie.
Hey y'all, how's it going?
Good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me again, and thank you for this proclamation. I was having a conversation with a friend, I want to say yesterday or the day before, and I was talking about how cool it was that last week I accepted the proclamation from the city council. This week I'm accepting the proclamation from the county commissioners, and how important that is and what it says about Durham, that the city, the county are coming together and saying, this is the city and the county that we live in. This is who we love. This is who we respect. You will not come into our county and discriminate against everybody. So thank you so much for that. And I'm always very grateful about what y'all write. And we talked about how there was a couple other cities that had done some pride proclamations, and some of them didn't even mention LGBTQ. And so it's huge that y'all have been so thoughtful in how you write these proclamations, specifically adding in the historical component. A lot of folks don't realize that Pride in North Carolina was started because people were murdered. It was a protest. Just like Pride in 1969 was started as a protest. Durham, as well as North Carolina, continues that legacy of activism and being the first to speak out against, when folks are doing people wrong. So, I'm very proud to live in the city and county of Durham. We are very grateful for this proclamation. We are grateful to celebrate Pride. One thing that the LGBTQ Center Durham tries to do is focus on joy, because there's so much pain and there's so much hurt in our community. And we want to come together and try and find as much joy as possible. So a lot of the events that we try to do and try to support are all about finding joy. So please look for any of the events that are happening this month. While the LGBTQ Center of Durham will not be holding an event, you will find us at many, including a Juneteenth celebration in the Haytide neighborhood on Friday night. And just plugging this in, they are celebrating Juneteenth all weekend. The city council proclaimed Juneteenth weekend as the 17th through the 19th. So please go out and celebrate. And thank you so much, y'all.
Welcome. Commissioners? Commissioner Burns?
I had one quick question for the interim executive director. I don't want to be executive director, we interim executive director, but we're going to put a calling on it. Now, I had heard a rumor that you went over to Wake County and did a training for their employees. Did I hear that wrong?
Yes, I'm excited to say that our director of our youth center and assistant director of our youth center presented a Pronouns 101 on Friday to Wake County government employees. I want to say there was at least 300 people there. Wow. So we were excited for Wake County to come get us. We're excited to do it in Durham County. Y'all let us know.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
We do trainings, and we will craft them to what your needs are and have conversations and be very real and upfront. We're currently working with a business who would like for us to partner and do one-on-one trainings with their new hires. We're going to have to come back to them and say it can't just be one. In order for folks to really understand and learn, you got to practice and you got to have the space to grow. And so we're going to present them with more than one opportunity to train their folks.
Wow.
Well, I only bring that up because I remember last year during the Pride Proclamation, you stood up here and said, I'm born in Durham, raised in Durham, I want to live in Durham, get married in Durham. And as much as we're doing a lot of this work, the community got to be prepared for it too. So I just want to say thank you for preparing the community that you want to be in and grow in and love in. So I hope my shameless plug up, they did it in Wake County. I hope people heard the shameless plug. Hope some folks will take her up on her offer and her training.
Yes, and I'm now married in Durham County, so
Congratulations!
there you go. I got a wife now here.
Okay.
And if I may just respond to the shameless plug.
Yes.
Our director of equitable well-being is now on staff. And Dr. Brent Lewis, I don't know if he's here this evening, but Dr. Brent Lewis has a plethora of trainings and other things that will be coming forth. So you all will get to hear about the great work that's happening. And we'll make sure we connect you. Now.
Commissioner Long?
Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. And on the track of shameless plugs, I also hear that the LGBTQ Center of Durham has a donor that is looking to match or looking for other partners to match with them for the upcoming Pride. And well, it's supposed to go towards vaccines and STI testing, possibly, and other services that the LGBTQ Center provides. And I know we briefly discussed this at our budget retreat, but I would love for, our board and our staff to look into ways that we can support the LGBTQ Center more, because it is really a pinnacle for our community, a place of resources and a safe space for so many people within Durham County. And since they've done all this hard work to find someone who's willing to match contributions, it would be really great for Durham County to be able to help them reach that goal.
Yes, we were really excited. We did get someone offer a match. So we are looking for folks to donate. We are looking for sponsors for Pride. Pride will be September 23rd this year. We're really excited about what we're bringing to Pride. Hopefully we'll be not sponsoring, but kind of working with the Bull City Summit, which is going to be in its second year. They're attempting to bring South by Southwest to Durham, which is cool. So we're really looking forward to the opportunities that are there. But yes, please donate. If you have a business or an organization and would like to sponsor, please reach out. Any amount is good, and you'll get at least, on our website and a conversation with me. So that's always great. Oh, I'm not.
Mr. Jacobs, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Natalie. Really appreciate your very positive leadership in our community. It's contagious. Could you just give us a little detail about the donations? Is that something that individuals can donate to, or is it what level of donation is it?
So they are matching up to 25,000. And so this actually gives me an idea that I can do it. I can set up a different, by tomorrow, y'all will see a link either on our website or in everybody's email signature that if you donate directly to that link, that will be counted towards our match of 25,000. So the goal is to try and get 50,000 into the center. So you will see that link tomorrow.
Okay, and what's the deadline?
You know what? They're being very flexible with us, but the deadline I'm going to give y'all is September 8th. That's when everything is in. So parade registrations, vendor registrations, all that needs to be in by the 8th. So we're going to give the community until September 8th.
I think that we should have a goal. I believe our community can match that by the end of Pride Month, $25,000. I think that's very doable for this community. So, all right, I'll look for that link
Yes.
tomorrow. But I just wanted to say that as a proud mom of LGBTQIA plus children, that it is so important that we celebrate and that we also speak out. Durham will always be a community that fights for the human rights of all people. And I want to also say that recent efforts, as we see 400 bills that have been filed in this country targeting trans youth, targeting books and medical treatments, athletics, bathrooms, they are all a distraction. These are all efforts to divide people, and they will not work. We know that every single religion on our planet teaches us to love each other. We know that love will always win over hate, and we will not keep fighting for the dignity and respect and equal rights of LGBTQIA plus members of our community, of our country, of our world. And so we just have to keep remembering that and fighting, and know that Durham will always be a place where everyone is loved and welcome.
Okay.
I'll just say hear, 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 hear. That was very well said. And thank you, Natalie, for all of your work and your leadership.
Thank you. And I hope that this $1.7 million in federal funding for programs you are aware of. You are
We,
aware.
we are, I do want to say, plug something real quick. A local community member who was a drag queen named Stormy Day had the opportunity to MC. Some of y'all might have seen this, but there was a prom held for trans youth at the Capitol a couple Mondays ago. And so a local Durham community member got to MC that prom. And I just want to lift her up. She's a huge member of the community. She works at the Durham Co-op. She is their community outreach person. But y'all, Durham is doing it. Durham is showing up nationally and letting folks know that we are Black, we are proud, and we are going to support the people that we love. So I just wanted to plug that real quick.
Thank you so much. You got one more thing? Okay.
Hey, Natalie, you just gave me an idea of something else to add to the history of Durham. I really wonder, we may have been the first library to hold a drag event at our and storytelling event at our Durham County Library. That was back in my first term in office. I would say maybe 2017 or 18. We need to look into, ask Tammy Baggett. But so we'll have to add that to our history, our proud history.
Yes.
Right. Well, again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioners, we don't have a resolution for Juneteenth. I think we've already done that, but I do want to mention that, you know, when you talk about Juneteenth and a holiday, this was a holiday that back in 2020, I recommended that the Durham County recognize Juneteenth as an official holiday that honoring employees and that they get a paid holiday. It took us a little while to get it finally approved. So it started in June 22 of 20. And it was finally approved in February of 21 before we voted on it and became effective June 2, I think on the 15th of 21. It took us a long time to get that approved, but I'm glad that we took the initiative because I don't believe that that's happening across the state where all employees across the state get a paid holiday. So that's a great thing that we do. One of the things that we do is take the lead on stuff. The next items, Commissioners, is 230385, and did I see? Okay, I'm looking to see. No one signed up for that one. So there are a couple of awards and announcements here for Greg Morrow. I don't believe he's here. He's not here. Is that correct? But I still want to acknowledge him, and if there are any of his staff or anyone's here could stand in for him. The board is requested to acknowledge that Durham County government has been recognized by CAMP-TIA, and the Public Technology Institute among its 2023 PDI Solutions Award winners. Is it anyone here from his department? Okay, well, we acknowledge him anyway, and okay, there's an award here for him when he's back. So, award in his absence, and the award says CompTIA Public Technology Institute 2023 Solutions Award winner, Durham County, North Carolina, Durham County Emergency Rental Assistance Care Program Phase 2. That's the award. And then if we go down to 230386, not acknowledging that Greg Morrow, CIO of Durham County Government, has been recognized as one of government technology's top 25 doers, dreamers, and drivers for 2023. So another award for him and his department. So yeah. So is there any comments
Madam
from
Chair,
commissioners or manager?
I will just ask, because he couldn't be here because of an emergency, so I would just ask the board that at a meeting when he is allowed to be here, when he can be here, if we could just take a moment to congratulate him when he's here, yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so moving on. Commissioner Jacobs?
Yeah,
please.
I'm sorry that Greg and the IT staff are not here, but I just think this is very significant. And I just want to note that one of the aspects of his award was for the special software program that he and his staff developed for the distribution of the ERAP funding, that is the emergency rental assistance funding, and this was done in partnership with the Department of Social Services. This was a collaboration between DSS and IT and was really made possible getting out the funds quickly to residents and tracking that. And so I just think it's really significant and very innovative and really helped people in our community.
Okay. Any other comments? Just hold it until he's here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now we're moving on, commissioners, to our consent agenda. There are a couple of items that we needed to pull. The one that manager, page 23. Let's see. 21, 22. So we will pull item number 230425. And is that being moved? That's not being moved, it will be discussed tonight. Okay, that'll be put to the end. That's 230425, and it's adoption of an initial resolution authorizing $60 million in general obligation refunding bonds, series 20, that one, okay. Then there are a couple others. 27, 23, 5, 26. 27, we will pull 230433 and 230434. These are, one is the contract approved for the American Rescue Plan Act community grants, and then the other one is also about the community, those two. All right. Are there any others that need to be pulled, commissioners? So we have items 230296 through 230435 for on the consent agenda, with an exception of the three that I mentioned. So again, a motion to approve all those items.
I make a motion to approve all the items on the consent agenda, except for the ones that you have designated to be pulled.
Second.
It's been, consent agenda has been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Okay. All right, we will move on to other business. Other business is 230414. And that is adoption of the FY 2023-24 budget ordinance. The Durham County Manager presents the FY 23-24 annual budget ordinance to the Durham County Board of Commissioners for approval. The submission is in accordance with the Local Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act, which requires adoption of the annual budget no later than July 1. Any comments from the manager?
Only that I'd just like to really thank staff for all of the hard work and the investment of time in pulling together, helping to pulling together the budget, and also responding to the questions and gathering information to help the board come to a consensus and make an informed decision on this budget. So thank you so much to our budget director, Keith Lane, assistant director, David Ades, and all of the budget team. We have a superstar, rock star budget office. Thank you so much. And to Claudia Hager, our deputy county manager, who provides oversight for our financial.
Any other comments before we call for a vote?
And we also give a shout out to the manager. I mean, she's yeah. she's, you know, this is her second budget, and, you know, we throw everything in it but the kitchen sink. I mean, Durham's budget is really the everything bagel. And so I just have to say that for her, you know, people were making requests, pushing and pulling on us, some things we couldn't do. And I did thank her, but she actually sent, I think, an email last night. It was 11:35, and I was like, what do you want? But she was literally trying to make sure she added something that we all cared about. So I just want to say thank you to you and kudos to you, because she went hard in the paint late last night and early this morning. So thank you to you, Dr. Sowell.
Okay.
I have some comments that I'll submit. I will give to the clerk for including the public record. I won't read them all, but
So do we need to go ahead and vote before
Sure.
all the comments?
We can do that.
Monica?
we can do comments after.
Okay, I think
Okay.
we need to go ahead.
And I just want to remind you that we do have one citizen that did sign up to speak.
Okay, on the budget,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, do we have two persons?
Just one. The second person signed up to speak on the museum item.
Okay, DeWarne Langley, item 230414, that's budget. If you are on the Zoom. Okay, if you would, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Chair Howerton, Vice Chair Jacobs, and Commissioners Alon, Burns, and Carter, as well as City Manager Dr. Sowell. I'm here to speak in two capacities. One, the Charles Hamilton Houston Foundation. We take pride in our commitment to ensuring that academic success goes beyond theoretical knowledge, and I'm here again to ask for $250,000 to strengthen our capacity in programming. In addition to my work as the chair of the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, we thank Dr. Sowell for including $105,300 to expand JCPC's annual award amount, and we ask the commissioners to approve the initial request of $210,330. Year after year, JCPC diligently conducts an in-depth review of risk and needs data, gaining critical insights into the unique challenges of our young people. And as you all are aware, we are seeing increased vulnerabilities among our young people, as well as a significant increase in the number of juvenile complaints. And that is why this request is so critically important. And while you all may decide to approve the budget without amending to include these two requests, I will continue to come back until both are approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Commissioner Lum,
Thank you, Chair Harrington.
let's go ahead and take a vote for the budget, and then we can do the do comments, okay?
Madam
So
Chair,
I
I'd like
will,
to make a motion. Oh, okay. Also, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the fiscal year 2023, 2024 budget ordinance.
okay,
Second.
okay. It's been moved and properly second to adopt the FY 23-24 budget ordinance. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Now go ahead with your comment.
I know you wanted to take the vote first, that I couldn't try to sneak in a few things into the
No, we
budget
won't.
last minute.
I'm gonna let you do that. That's why we took the vote.
I had this whole plan.
No, we're not going there, okay? Okay, go ahead.
But no, I just wanted to also add on to my thanks to all of the staff and all the departments for year after year making us the best county in North Carolina, in the country, with all of the programs, services we provide. And congratulations to Manager Sowell. This is your second budget, but this is technically the first full budget that you have overseen. So congratulations on this huge accomplishment. Thank you to all of our budget staff. I'm really excited of just all of the community engagement that we've seen throughout this budget process, and just really grateful to Durham County residents, especially because this budget also marks the beginning of our bonds being implemented. And so thank you to all the Durham County residents, again, the over 80% of folks who voted in support of the bonds that are now going to be funded starting with this budget. So just thank you to everyone. We're really, really grateful to be able to serve this county.
Yes, I also want to thank the budget staff and the whole department, and all the departments who've weighed in on what's important, what they need to provide the outstanding services that we do for our community. There's one element in particular. Well, first, let me go back to the thanks. I wanted to say, too, that it's really important that commissioners understand as much as possible about the budget, and that enables us to make, good decisions, hopefully. And our budget team, they answer so many questions. They never ever make us feel like a question might not be the most knowledgeable question, even. And I've really appreciated that over the years, and it's a benefit to the community because it does mean that we have a better understanding of exactly what we're voting on. And I wanted to highlight the fact that Durham County, in approving this budget, will have a new minimum wage floor of $19.22. And I want to lift that way up, and I want to say the city needs to match it. The school district can only match it if we help them match it. But, and I hope private industry will pay attention too, because we're going to attract your people and we're going to hold them. So this is a great step towards, continuing to be vigilant that we increase our wages annually and pace with the cost of living here in Durham. Thank you.
Mr. Jacobs?
I just want to say ditto to everything that all of my colleagues have already said. And that this budget, which is $844,940,496, is the biggest budget in the history of Durham County, and is a huge investment in the people of our community, and is a reflection of our values and our priorities. I also want to lift up what that our board and Durham County government continues to lead the way with a holistic and systemic approach to fight poverty and create equitable access to shared prosperity and well-being for all. With Durham County's minimum living wage at $19.22 an hour, we are setting the bar and the standard for others to follow. We are also in this budget funding the requested increase for salaries at Durham Tech for janitors and for their some of their staff. And we are in this budget increasing Durham Public Schools' request to increase the salaries of their classified staff, who are the bus drivers, the cafeteria workers, the assistant teachers, and others who play such an important role in the everyday lives of 33,000 students. I also want to acknowledge that we are still laser focused on our education to jobs pipeline. We want to make sure that Durham youth are connected to the jobs that we are directly supporting in RTP and Treyburn and downtown Durham. And so we're increasing the per pupil funding for Durham Public Schools by 7%, which is now $4,650 per student, one of the highest in the state. And we are now providing $2.4 million in scholarships for students to attend Durham Tech. And we are also increasing our Durham pre-K investment to $7.9 million because we know this is critical for creating a foundation for lifelong learning and achievement. And I'm also excited, there's so much in this budget, but one of the things I'm really excited about is a new initiative, the Familiar Faces Initiative, that will be housed at the Justice Services Department, that will use a data-driven approach to track our most vulnerable residents who are interacting with county departments in many ways and are using many of our services so that we can better serve them and their needs. And also, this budget includes our first allocation of opioid settlement money for our community linkages to care program that's housed in public health that connects people to substance use and mental health treating through peer support, and also for a medical director to expand the medication-assisted treatment program for people who are in the detention center and have opioid use disorder. I want to acknowledge the leadership of our county manager as well. I think this is the most non-controversial budget that I've experienced in my 11 years in elected office. So I want to thank you and, of course, all of the staff. This is a team effort with everyone, so many people being involved at so many levels, and our budget, Keith, David, and all of the A-team for the budget staff, and especially to the Durham community, to my colleagues, that all of the engagement of our community is what makes Durham such a special place that it is. Thank you.
Commissioner Burns?
Okay. I like Commissioner Jacobs. Maceo has taught me now there are things I need to enter into public record. So she's covered a couple of things, but I do want to hit on a couple of points that I also had typed up. You did a good thing just then saying it was the least controversial budget. I would like to say, I think the other ones were least controversial. I just think we did a great job of communicating to people in the community that we were on their side. A lot of times we have people who want to come in here and they're very honest. We just want the footage so we can put it on the gram so that they can take credit for the work. We have done a good job as a board of saying you're not going to take credit for the work that we were elected to do and that we work to do. So I did want to highlight just a couple of things that people in the community have, tried to talk about and say that we were not for, but have failed miserably at it based on the past two budgets. So this new budget includes an increase for Durham Public Schools of $10.8 million. This includes, but is not limited to, additional financial support of $1.57 million for certified salary increases, $1.52 million for classified salary increases, and $4.09 million for classified study of proposed salary increases. So we're not just increasing salaries here, we're working diligently, not just across the enterprise, but across the county to do so. The total funding for Durham Public Schools is $187,951,627. If I'm a penny or two off, I'm sure the manager will correct me. And this equates to an additional $289 per student, or $4,650 per pupil. So each year that I've been on this board, we've been able to move that up. And you might ask yourself, why is this important? You all have been watching on the news and you see that we have opportunity scholarships. And it's not actually providing opportunities for everybody. Right now, the Office of State Budget and Management has been able to make some projections, and it's believed that fiscal year 2026 and 27, public schools across the state will see a decline in state funding by more than $203 million. It is projected that the new voucher program will reduce Durham state funding by $6,403,406 annually. The number of students accessing opportunity scholarships in Durham will move from 945 to possibly 2,612. So that's more kids leaving out of Durham Public Schools, and that's less allocations for the state. So I do want people to understand that this board has been doing their part, and we're going to continue to do our part, but we cannot do it by ourselves. We need your voices, not just here, but we need them in Raleigh. As you can see, those voices were absent tonight. I hope that they are in Raleigh, lifting their voices up there. I will end here because there's some things that are in the budget that that we haven't uplifted that are small but are really important. So while we had over $60 million in financial requests and over 100 positions, the manager is really diligent. We only approved, moved up, I think, 17 new employees. As we work to rework our strategic plan, we want to make sure we look across the enterprise to not only add additional support for hard-to-hire positions, but also to restructure and reduce where we might need to. I recognize, much like my neighbors, that water quality is vital. Elections are important, and protections of our veterans are paramount, which is why within those 17 positions, we're having a new elections outreach specialist. How you doing, Lois? A new veterans outreach specialist, as well as a public education specialist for our stormwater. So these are all things that you all have elevated that are important to you and that we're investing in. We're seeing more grants go out for Solar Durham, more grants going out for our small minority farmers, and an MBA program started out for our women and minority contractors. So please take some time to go through this budget and look at some of the really, really great things. And even though we're raising taxes, our manager also wanted us to tighten our belts, and she asked staff to reduce positions by $2.5 million. So we're not asking folks to do anything we're not doing ourselves. Again, I applaud the staff, I applaud the managers, I applaud my board, and please go out there and tell folks that Durham's Board of County Commissioners does support education, public education. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, commissioners. So for the public, as you can see, we are excited and pleased about this budget. And I too have a written statement that I will read in its entirety for this budget. So as we come to the accumulation of this year's dynamic budget process, I want to sincerely thank our extraordinary staff who did the work to get us to this point. As I often tell community members, our board succeeds in addressing critical needs and requests from residents. Thanks to the hardworking, dedicated staff we have in departments across this organization. Dr. Sowell, Deputy County Manager, Hager, Budget Director, Lang, along with the entire staff of Budget and Finance. Let me just say, we are so fortunate to have your leadership over this annual process. Thanks are also due to our department heads for working together as team players to help make this responsible budget so that will serve us well over the coming year. All of you have collaborated to respond to the ideas and priorities of each of our board members, and we get down to it as board members, and to ensure that they have included our ideas in this budget. As for that, I say thank you. This budget totals nearly $900 million, and I rounded it up, what Commissioner mentioned, and includes significant investments in recruiting and training critical county employees, educational improvements, public safety, affordable housing. We have worked very well with the city around affordable housing this past year. And nothing is better than when you can collaborate with city and county for our residents. And efforts to continue to recover from the pandemic. This year's budget increased the county property tax rate by 3 cents to 75.22 cents per $1 valuation. Certainly, inflation plays a role in this decision. And you will recall that voters approved our largest ever bond referendum last fall for schools and public buildings. At that time, we noted that a tax increase would result. But now that we will continue to offer our popular low-income homeowners relief program to help eligible residents with that tax bill. I am very proud that our board continues to make education a priority. To that end, we provided $10.8 million more to Durham Public Schools. Those additional funds will help improve salaries and certified employees as well as for classified workers. The funding also provides for a salary study with increased funding for charter school support. We are increasing funding for Durham Technical Community College to help them continue to train our residents to compete for certain skilled jobs that continue to be available in biopharmacy, medical technology, and more as new companies move and expand in Durham County. This budget allows us to continue to expand the number of pre-K classrooms for our youngest residents. And even next year, we're entertaining 3-year-olds. Something I'm so proud to say, we have prioritized so many years. We continue to give help to them to give to our children to have great starts in their educational journey. Our resilient county employees have certainly hung in there with us over the years, and I've been here for 15 of them. Especially during this pandemic, we all know that this has not been the easiest time to be in government service. We've asked a great deal from our employees, especially those in certain public-facing positions, and we are happy to include a significant across-the-board increase as well as other supportive services to promote the health and well-being of our most vulnerable asset, our employees. This budget includes investments in adding a few employees to help address new demands for services critical to our growing population. Some of these services enhancements include supporting food security efforts for our most vulnerable residents, expanding outreach to our veterans, providing a new facility for our Board of Election. Also, we are funding a broadband manager to help us level the digital divide and effectively oversee the federal and state broadband improvements, and hiring a new medical director position to manage all programs related to the opioid treatment program and medication assistant treatment at the Durham County Detention Center. We have much to celebrate with this budget, and I, and along with my colleagues, are proud of the work that we have done together in developing a budget that will produce improved outcomes and services throughout Durham County. Now, let's get to work. Thank you. All right.
Chair Howerton,
Yes.
can we just take a moment to ask all of the staff who worked on the budget to just stand up so we can appreciate them?
Absolutely. And we will applaud them. All the budget folks that got this. And the manager, too. Manager? Yeah. All right. Moving on. All right, our next item is 230437. See, did I have someone signed up for that one? No, that was 36, the one we pulled. Yes. Okay. Budget Ordinance Amendment number 24 BCC 00002, appropriating $200,000 of unassigned general fund balance to Downtown Durham, Inc., and complying with Section Law 2021-191, General Statute 14-234.3. So the Durham County Board of Commissioners requested to approve the budget ordinance as stated. And in this action here, you will see that some of the commissioners will not vote on a few things here because of a section law 2021-191. So are there any questions on this item, commissioners? I'm reading the 7.
We can go back to it, but
Yeah. So the 3-6 that the manager was talking about has been pulled to put it at the bottom. So that's why I went past that one. So are there any comments on this item, on 230437, Commissioner? Hearing none, I will call for a motion.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the budget amendment appropriating $200,000 of unassigned fund balance to the Downtown Durham Incorporated.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0, 1 abstention. Okay, we'll move on to 230438, Budget Ordinance Amendment Number 24BCC 00003, appropriating $76,000 of unassigned general fund balance to the Museum of Durham History and complying with Section Law 2021-191, General Statute 14-234.3.
Madam Chair,
Any questions?
oh, sorry.
Okay, if you want to make a motion, go ahead.
Yes, Madam Chair, I move that we appropriate $76,000 of unassigned general fund balance to the Museum of Durham History, comply with Session Law 2021-191, General Statute 114-234.3.
Second.
Moved and probably second, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0 with
I abstained.
one abstention. Shalom, abstention.
And Madam Chair, I think we need to go back to 23-0436.
Go back to which one?
Page 29.
0436.
That's pulled to go to the end of the agenda.
The Museum of Science.
Wait a minute. That's the one I circled that you want. Okay. Sure. Okay. No problem. We'll go back to 425 is the one you. Okay. All right. We'll go back to commissioners. I thought that was one that the manager wanted to pull. 230436, Budget Ordinance Amendment Number 424BCC 00001, appropriating $2,358,124 of unassigned general fund balance to the North Carolina Museum of Life and Science and complying with Section Law 2021-191, General Statute 14-234.3. Are there any questions on this item? Okay, I can motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve Budget Ordinance Amendment number 24 BCC 00001, appropriating $2.35824 million to the Museum of Life and Science.
Okay, moved in properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Motion passes 4-0 with one abstention.
Chair Howerton, I will say that we did have a citizen that signed up to speak for this item, if she's able to come up.
Okay. That's Summer. Okay, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Commissioners and Dr. Sowell, for letting me speak very briefly. My name is Kate Senner. I'm the Vice President of Advancement at the Museum of Life and Science. First, I just want to say that the museum is a very personal place to me. I moved down here about 20 years ago and started as a nanny, and the museum was a great place for me to take my little kiddos to go to share my love of science, but also to create a sense of community for me as I got to know Durham and the wonderful place that it was. Fast forward a couple years later, I actually got married there, and it became a very personal place to my husband and I. Fast forward a couple years later, And my daughter, at 18 months, was diagnosed with autism. And the museum provided a place that helped me as a parent to be able to understand and navigate that diagnosis and figure out how I can also take her out into the public, have a safe space for her, and have a community that appreciates who she is. And so personally, I was very grateful for the museum. Last year, I had the opportunity to come over and work, and I realized that my story is not unique, that there are a lot of people within the community who really love the museum and find that same sense of comfort, community, and specialness that really makes us a unique place within the county. I will also say it's great to see all the different things that we do for the community with your support, and we are incredibly grateful for that. So thank you very much for the opportunity to say thank you for considering our request and for voting to support us again this year. We are very grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll go back, commissioners, to 230425. And this is adoption of initial resolution authorizing $60 million general obligation refunding bond series 2023, including a resolution calling for public hearing, general obligation refunding bond order.
Is this the one that was pulled from the agenda?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So yes, this agenda item was pulled so that we can have some remark from our bond counsel,
Okay.
Deputy
And then-
Hager and the bond counsel.
Yeah,
And then we'll come back to the TNVR?
Yes.
this was, yeah, this was pulled.
Doesn't this need to go at the end of the agenda, though? Yeah, I think we have to wait until the end of the agenda.
So we have the
Um,
TNVR ordinance first.
Since we've already started with it, let me go ahead and finish it, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Greetings to Chair Howerton, the commissioners and members of this great board, Dr. Soel, Attorney Andrew. We come before you on this evening to talk about this great finance opportunity that we have. And in this first step of this authorization process for the issuance of the GO bonds, in which we approved in 2016. And we used it for community colleges, for the library, for the museums, as well as the schools. And so on tonight, we are going to be asking several things here. We're going to ask that you adopt the final resolution for the Board of Commissioners of the County of Durham, North Carolina, making the certain statement of facts concerning proposed bond issue. Then we're wanting to introduce the bond authorization, the issuance of the $60 million general obligation refunding bonds. And then we're asking for the adoption of the calling of the public hearing. We also, part of our team here, we have our Parker Poe, that's with us with our bond counsel, which is Carlos Manzanos. And then we also have with us our finance team, which is our assistant CFO for debt, which is Joe Fatima, and our senior accountant, which is Jamelia Wilson Davis. And of course, our leader, which is Claudia Hager. And so if we have any questions, we have our bond counsel here with us tonight.
Happy to answer any questions on any of the resolutions or the action to introduce the bond order.
Questions, commissioners? Hearing none. Looking at my instructions here. So the resolution entitled Resolution of the County Board Commissioners of the County of Durham, North Carolina, making certain state resolution titled Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Durham North Carolina, making certain statements of fact concerning proposed bond issue as of fact concerning proposed bond issue is before the board for consideration, making certain findings related to proposed issue of general obligation refunding bonds. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution? It's been moved and seconded. Or is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, I'd like to introduce a bond order entitled, oh, I gotta have a vote?
So I will read
gotta
that
get a
statement,
vote?
Chair Howerton, I'm sorry. I'd like to introduce a bond order entitled Bond Order Authorizing the Issuance of 60 Million Refunding Bonds, Series 2023. The bonds will refund the county's General Obligation Bond, Series 2021, which was authorized pursuant to bond orders approved in the 2016 referendum for community college, library, museum, and school purposes. Copies of the bond order are available in your agenda packet, and the complete form of bond order will be written upon the minutes of this meeting as having been introduced in accordance with the North Carolina General Statutes.
So, Madam Clerk, do we take a vote before we go any farther? We do? Attorney?
On the first one.
Hi, this is Carlos Manzano, Bond Counsel. So there is no need to take a vote on the introduction of the bond order. Just by reading it into the record, you've kind of checked the box on that. That's where
Okay, let's check the box. Okay.
Do we need to vote on the resolution that we read before that?
yes, the first resolution.
Because I think there was a motion and a second, but there wasn't a vote on the resolution.
Okay, I'm listening to my attorney now, guys. I
Yeah,
have to
sorry,
listen
a
to
lot of
the attorney, not
speakers.
us.
Everybody hold on for a second.
Okay?
Okay. We had a resolution that was spoken, motion, and a second. Procedurally, we must vote.
Okay,
Then normally, we would go to where the clerk spoke. So if we could do that now to remind those voting and the citizens of the fact that we had a motion and it was seconded. We'll take that vote for the record.
so we had a motion and we had a second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it passes, motion passes 5-0. Then we go to the next part of this item.
So let the outside counsel speak toward, I think the second motion is up now.
The second is the introduction to our bond authorization, the issuance of the $60 million general obligation refunding bonds of the County of Durham, North Carolina.
Yes, and that action is the introduction of the bond order that if you'd like to read it into the record again, so we have the
Okay,
process.
I'll reread it again. And I'd like to introduce the bond order entitled Bond Order Authorizing the Issuance of 60 Million Refunding Bonds, Series 2023. The bonds will refund the county's General Obligation Bond Series 2021, which was authorized pursuant to bond orders approved in the 2016 referendum for community college, library, museums, and school purposes. Copies of the bond order are available in your agenda packet, and the complete form of bond order will be written upon the minutes of this meeting as having been introduced in accordance with the North Carolina General Statutes.
A resolution entitled Bond Order Authorizing the Insurance of $60 million Refunding Bonds Series 2023, setting public hearings thereon, and directing a publication of notice of said public hearings is before the board for consideration, calling a public hearing. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
I'll move.
I second the motion.
So the motion has been moved. There has been a motion, a second. Is there any discussion?
Part of this motion refers to a public hearing. Is that happening next, or does that come in the future?
Yes, so the resolution that you all are adopting tonight will call a public hearing for the June 26th board meeting. We will be working with the county to publish a notice of said public hearing before.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, it's been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Any other discussion? All right. Okay. That one. Go to 230389. The amendment to Chapter 4 of the Durham County Code of Ordinance to allow for creation of a trap neuter vaccination release program. And the person, Curtis Massey, our senior assistant county attorney, is here for this discussion, commissioners.
Madam, excuse me, Madam Chair, Commissioners. As you noted, the purpose of this amendment is to amend the animal control ordinance to permit the establishment of a trap, neuter, vaccinate, release program. This was originally proposed to you by the Animal Welfare Advisory Committee as a more effective and more humane approach to managing free-roaming cats, unowned cats. And they came to you and said they wanted to propose a community solution to a community problem and asked you to remove impediments in the existing ordinance that they believed prevented this program from being established. Now, I'm happy to tell you that the draft ordinance before you, the amendments tonight, address all 4 of the impediments they identified. And I would like to recognize the folks who worked so well to make that come together. I pulled together a small working group and really just tried to stay out of it and help them come together. And we had the chair of the Animal Welfare Advisory Committee's Feral Community Cat Committee, Jan Paul. We had, and I'm going to get it right this time, the head of APS, Shafonda Allen Davis. There's going to be cats on my car, I know it. All right, let me make a note on that and just strike that, reverse it. Shafonda Davis Allen. The sheriff's legal advisor, Keisha Lovelace. And then I was very fortunate because this is not my bailiwick. That's why I was trying to stay out of it and just say, okay, what can we come together and make work? And it was recommended to me that a local advocate for animals and something of an expert on the concept of TNVR, Sarah Reichman, would be an essential resource for us. And that was proposed by Jan, and I'm deeply appreciative. And I also have to recognize, she's not here tonight, Dr. Jennifer Frederico, the director of Wake County Animal Services, whose program adopted in 2011 we kind of looked at as a model. And to be honest, I think once the 4 of them all came together, we had this sorted out in about a month and a half and came up with what you have tonight. As I say, we've addressed all the impediments identified by the Animal Welfare Advisory Committee and the local groups. I know that Independent Animal Rescue is ready to proceed, and hopefully There are more groups and more individuals ready to stand up and participate and expand what can be done and will be done to provide these services to reduce this population effectively and humanely, and to foster good relationships and understanding amongst the community. Now, if y'all have any questions about the ordinance, I will certainly do my best to respond to them. But I did not want to try to go through this line by line.
I think, Curtis, we've asked you so many questions. We're all just like, should we ask him any more? I think Mr. Jacobs has one.
I do not have a question. I want to add one person to your thank you list, and that is Commissioner Carter, who has been helping to champion this and move this along over several years. I'll take credit for getting it rolling back in 2016 when I was our representative to the Animal Welfare Advisory Committee. So this has been a long time in the making, but I want to recognize you, Curtis, for bringing everyone together. I think this is just a great example of people working together and compromising and nobody getting exactly what they wanted. But I think this meets gets to the heart of what people have been trying to do, which is to take away the barrier for people, frankly, doing something that they're already doing. And, you know, it was a new world to me when I joined the committee, that we already had people in the community volunteering and managing what we call now community cat colonies. But, you know, this is something that's happening, and it is an effective strategy to try to manage a big problem. And we know that we can't kill all the cats, and we can't, it's actually quite expensive. I don't remember, do you remember the amount that we spent last year, Curtis? It was,
Do not.
you know,
I don't know if
it was,
Fonda.
yeah, we spent a lot of money and, you know, basically, you know, killing, I forget, 60 cats or something like that. There's an estimation that we have like 60,000 cats in Durham. So not only is it not possible to catch all of them, but we also can't afford it. And this is a strategy that other counties have already adopted. Unfortunately, we're not leading on this. We're actually catching up. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been involved. Thank you to our community who is going to now really take the lead on this. And I do look forward to, in the future, being able to take the next step, which is, you know, hopefully finding some nonprofit partners that will help to really cover the expense for this and really expand this in a much broader way. So I'm really excited to vote on this. And thank you to everyone. And thank you for all the advocates that are here as well.
Alon?
I'll say ditto to Commissioner Jacobs' comments, and also adding in the thanks. Thank you, Attorney Massey, for all of the work that you put in behind this, for figuratively and literally herding cats for the past year. Thank you so much for all the back and forth. I know you've been doing it, especially since it's an area you weren't very knowledgeable, but you never let that show for us. You've always been our expert in this, and I really appreciate it. Also, thank you to all the residents who have emailed and contacted us about this. I feel like this has been one of the most passionate issues that has come before our board. From the first time it was introduced to us, the public comments we received, from all the emails, everything. So just thank you to all the Durham County residents who are so passionate about this issue. and took the time to reach out to us to share their thoughts and perspective.
Okay. Commissioner Carter?
I'll just pile on quickly and say thank you to our reps here tonight who really helped make this ordinance a reality. To Curtis, and I just wanted to, and I also wanted to point out that once the ordinance has been in place for a few years, this was a negotiated ordinance, and so no one is thrilled with it. But that's what happens with compromise. And so once this has been in place for a few years, we'll be able to, determine what the practical effects of it are, what benefits there are, what ways we might be able to improve it. And so it's really good we're getting going, and so that in the future we might be able to make it even better. That's all I wanted to say.
Commissioner Burns?
Ditto, and I was just gonna make the motion. Okay, it's everybody. All right. I'd like to make a motion to adopt the attached resolution amending Chapter 4 of the Durham County Code of Ordinance to allow for creation of a trap, neuter, vaccinate, release program.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0, and I promise you, Curtis had a little bit more hair when he started working on this. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you. Okay. There were two other items, commissioners, that were pulled. 230433. Okay. Contracts approval for the American Rescue Act Fund Community Grants awarded at RFP category. Like for Claudia, you will just talk about those a little bit. There's so much in these proposals, just so the community has idea. Both for and also 0434. Let's just share with the community a little bit about what's in those two items.
Having a little technology and pulling it all up. Good evening, board members. It is exciting coming to this stage of the process and sharing updates on our American Rescue Plan Act community grants. We awarded 46 proposals, and we're halfway through of executing contracts. That is a quite detailed process. For tonight's agenda, there are contracts related both to youth-focused efforts. The first set of contracts are for Purpose Learning Lab as well as Emily K, and for both of them, they will provide tutorial services as well as enrichment activities. And as you know, with the programming of ARPA dollars, there is a desire to help mitigate issues that happen with the COVID-19 learning loss challenge that many families are facing, including my own family, that are areas that we can support and wrap our arms around our youth and their families. And so for the one on 0433, again, they will focus on youth learning and tutorial activities. And then for the other contract, for 434, that particular one is capacity building and supporting efforts for maternal health. And this partnership is with the Center for Child and Family Health at Duke University. And we're excited for the efforts they will do to help bolster efforts to support mothers and their children during the most critical time of life.
Thank you, Claudia. This has been a lot of work, and we so appreciate the work that you've done around this, because there's so much richness in all of this funding that we are giving to the community. And we are happy that we were able to get the American Rescue Fund. Just wanted a little bit highlighted so the community knows some of these grants are already being awarded. They will be receiving the money sometime soon.
Yes, ma'am. We're grateful that we'll have the ability for them to expend the dollars over a 24-month period. We are honoring that. We recognize we were trying to get it all spent by December 2024. However, we do have until 2026 to expend the dollars, so we are honoring that commitment for a 24-month process. So they'll have sufficient time for planning as well as implementation, and then most important for us to do the evaluation and storytelling. So we're excited.
Thank you. Any questions from commissioners? Hearing none. Thank you, Claudia, so much. And I will entertain a motion to approve 230433 and 230434.
Did we already adopt the third one, 2435? Because that's the third contract. We did already? Okay.
We already approved.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
So moved.
it's been moved. Second? Moved and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Okay, I believe that is all the items that we have. Is there anything else before this board? Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes, Madam Chair, I would like to request an excused absence for our June 26th meeting. I hope that I can attend because I really want to vote on the Carver Creek project, but I don't know if I will be able to. I would have to be attending virtually, but so just in case, if I'm not able to get in for some reason, and I can't vote even if I'm attending virtually. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and request an excused absence in advance.
Move approval of an excused absence for Commissioner Jacobs for our
Second.
next meeting.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second for excused absence for Commissioner Jacobs. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Motion passes 5-0. Anything else before this board? Oh, I call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? You want to stay? Okay, passes. We are adjourned.